Yes, well, this is the Dallas Songwriters, and this is the world's pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. Well, welcome to our party. We hope to make you smile, at least to leave your problems for a while. Don't even leave your laptop or even leave the room for the pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. With a pretty darn good Opry on Zoom, we'll play for you like we're sitting in your room. So sip a beverage of your choice and listen to the voice of the pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. Well, what a cast of characters we have for you online. Pretty soon we'll have you feeling fine. With bits of Texas wisdom, we'll banish doom from gloom at the pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. With a pretty darn good Opry on Zoom, we'll play for you like we're sitting in a room. So sip a beverage of your choice and listen to the voice of the pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. So sip the beverage of your choice and listen to the voice of the pretty darn good Opry on Zoom. Well, actually, I don't know. Who is supposed to be the official? I mean, it could be me. I don't know.
I think it is.
Alan was the host second Wednesday of last month, but we may have swapped that around.
I don't care. I'm easy.
Alan?
I don't remember.
All right, I'll do it.
I can do it if you want. It doesn't matter.
Alan's better looking than me, so there's always that.
Alan's distracted, but you can do it.
Go ahead, Ace.
All right, I'm going to do it. All right.
I need the rest of the order before we get going here. I've got
yeah, that's highly
Ace,
important.
I know I'm last. Harry, it'd be Ace, Harry, and either Alan or Bill.
Right. And then
I'm gonna just
Bill's saying him. So okay,
Bill. Okay. So we got that.
Alan or you?
And then Alan's next.
Is it just me, or Ace's volume could be a little bit higher?
Oh, hold on.
Is it just me, or I mean, I don't know.
What? Here, do I sound present? No, am I quiet?
I think that's better.
I'm getting some noise here, but I don't know. The light, oh yeah, the light tells me that I'm in the right area. So anyway, well, I'm just going to go forward and boldly go where no one has gone before. And I'm going to pass this over to the famed Mr. Harry Hewlett. Do I have the magic thing? Yes.
I thought you was going to do one, but that's all right. You did do one. You did do one. Yeah, you wrote that song. You're the.
Does the theme song count?
Absolutely.
I guess it does.
Okay.
Well,
only if you play it first.
We'll accept it this time.
He's the host. He's the host. He's the host. So it's his call.
Okay. I won't argue with the host.
One little drink.
Original sound.
It'll warm you up. Okay, original sound. There we go. I was just I was testing you, Keith. And you passed the test. Okay. Here we go. One little drink. It'll warm you up. too much. It looks like water, it has no taste. Cross your eyes, fall on your face. There's never been no stronger stuff. 109 is proof enough. You better read that label, the warning's clear. When you get drunk, don't get drunk on Everclear. Well, it'll melt your cup, your plastic spoon. Strike a match, it goes boom. When you wake up down on the floor, it'll melt your name off your front door. There's never been no stronger stuff. 109 is proof enough. You better read that label, the warning's clear. When you get drunk, don't get drunk on Everclear. There's never been no stronger stuff. 109 is proof enough. You better read that label, the warning's clear. When you get drunk, don't get drunk on Everclear. She took my house, she took my car, she took my job, my old guitar. She took my dog, I can't remember its name. Purple Jesus on my brain. There's never been no stronger stuff. 109 is proof enough. You better read that label, the warning's clear. When you get drunk, don't get drunk on Everclear. Your life will suck if you get drunk on Everclear. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. Thank you very much.
A true testimonial, ladies and gentlemen. A true testimonial, and we will replace them if it's possible to do that. It's possible to replace Harry. We will do it with Mr. Bill Martin, who appears on our screen. Take it away, sir.
Since you've been gone, I've been missing you so. I can't go on, nowhere to go. I can't be strong, can't live alone. Been loving you so long, and now I'm on my own. Why don't you come back home? Been loving you so long, can't bear to be alone. Pop, 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 losing my mind. You're simply the best one a man could ever find. I lost my way, and they say my reasoning too. Oh, I can't say, you know it's true. No, I can't stay, but I can't go. My skies are gray, can't face my day. I need you so. Bop, 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 bida. Why don't you come back home? Been loving you so long, can't bear to be alone. Bop, 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 bida. I've been losing my mind. You're simply the best one a man could ever find. Since you've been gone, I've been missing you so. I simply can't go on, nowhere to go. Since you've been gone, I've been losing my mind. You're simply the best one a man could ever find. Bop, 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 bida. Why don't you come back home? Bop, 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 bida. I've been missing you so. Bop, 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 bida. I've been losing my mind. You're simply the best one a man could ever find. You're simply the best one a man could ever find. You're simply the best one a man could ever find.
Was that in a lower key than usual? Or is it just my imagination?
No, I usually put it in C, but that's a C.
All right, it just sounded.
Sometimes I'll capo it here and play it in C.
Oh, sure, yeah. Your voice sounded more resonant.
In a
So-
good way?
Yeah, in a good way.
Oh, good. I'm taking a chance. I'm not wearing headphones tonight, so I'm not exactly sure how it sounds. Apparently, the balance it's not too loud or out of balance.
No, you sound good.
Great. Yeah, the difference is I'm not using my headphones. I can hear you guys through my headphones, so that tells you how loud it is when I'm listening through headphones.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank
And
you.
now, well, we shall go in search of a certain Mr. Larson, as they call him. Let's see. There he is.
There we are.
In search of the lost Larson.
In search of the lost Larson.
That's me. Well, before I start, can I indulge in a little storytelling? This song, I'm going to do Animal in Bed, and we all kind of know where it's going, so it's no surprise. So I'll say the title. But anyway, this past week I've been working on a full band version, just recording at home with my keyboard and my bass and all that stuff. And when I got done, I haven't put it on the streaming services yet. I've kind of learned don't rush it, because sometimes you like listen to it a little bit later and you hear something. I need to go back and fix that. So anyway, I'm just kind of waiting a few days. In the meantime, I got done. I enjoy writing stuff, so I kind of wrote out this couple pages of how I do recording at home, and I put it on my Alan Larson Project Facebook page. And this guy I know from actually one of my classmates in high school, he does similar recording, and he replied, and I had mentioned in it that I've got a couple of old songs from 20 years ago I recorded with Magic software, which I don't have anymore, and how I kind of wish I could redo the vocals, because I was just kind of starting out singing a lot 20 years ago, and I just think I could sing it better now, but I can't use the same backing tracks because the vocals, like that Magic software worked on Windows 95 and whatever, and I don't have the files anymore. But he said, well, you know what, there's a free app called ultimate vocal remover. So I downloaded it and applied it to that song, and my gosh, it worked great. It removed my old vocal. So if you ever got a need to remove a vocal from a file, I highly recommend it. It's free too. So I don't know. I was been excited about it today. That wow, that thing really works. So I'm kind of working on replacing the vocal on the song. But meanwhile, now that I've captivated you with my story, sorry, went on too long, didn't it? Anyway, this is Animal in Bed. I got maybe a couple of tweaks to it since I last played it. Well, I knew it from the start. It was love at first sight. When I looked into her eyes, I knew this was right. Her soft touch and sweet voice, so tender and kind. Now every night she comes to me. She's an animal in bed when she lays down by my side. She likes to get a little wild. To her it comes so naturally. At the end of the day, when nighttime comes around, I must get ready. She's an animal in bed. When we first met, she'd been through some rough times. Her past was a mystery, but her spirit still shines. I knew I needed her, just like she needed me. Now when bedtime comes, well, you know the rest is history. She's an animal in bed when she lays down by my side. She likes to get a little wild. To her it comes so naturally. At the end of the day, when nighttime comes around, I must be ready, 'cause she's an animal in bed. She was camped outside my door for a week or more. When she rubbed my legs, I invited her in. She never wanted to leave my place. She knew what the kitchen was for. She's the sweetest little cat that I've ever seen. She's my animal in bed. Meow, meow. When she lays down by my side. Meow, meow. My favorite furry friend. Meow, meow. The best feline that's ever been. Meow, meow, meow. At the end of the day, when nighttime comes around, meow, here she comes. Meow, meow. I got an animal in bed. I got an animal in bed. Meow. I sent Ace a copy of my song in progress, and he suggested I add meows. And I actually found some, and I did. I found some. There's actually a great little website if you ever want some sound effects that are, what do you call it, royalty free. They have
Cool.
several different meows, and so
That's great.
so I added them at the very end, in addition to one or two of my own meows.
Right.
But yeah.
I hope you didn't mind. I had to sing.
Oh, I know, that's a great idea. I kind of had in the back of my mind I should do that. But it's funny, when I was playing those back, trying to pick out which ones sound like the meows I wanted to use, my cat was quite confused. What?
Hey, those are my people, man. What's the deal?
Yeah, my people. Where are they? I don't see them. I hear them.
Well, thank you, sir. And now
thank
we
you.
will move from one realm of silliness to yet another.
Oh.
The inimitable Mr. Keith Dodson.
Stuck in traffic on I-35. I'm sitting dead still when I want to drive. The tires seem to melt cause it's so darn hot. I'm sweating like a pig cause my AC's shot. I'm choking on fumes from an old Dodge Ram. Lord, please save me from this traffic jam. Sitting there staring at the other car. The dude in the Dodge grabs an old guitar. A mother in a Mercury has a mandolin. A banjo player in a Bentley joins right in. A bass player bounding from a Chevy van. Hey, it looks like they're gonna have a traffic jam. They played real loud in the key of C. They made us all forget about our misery. The people sang along in a joyous tone. A state trooper rapping in his megaphone. I kept on playing this song after song. I whipped out my blues harp and wailed along. The dam had cleared, but all the people stayed, making life's lemons into lemonade. If you get stuck, here's a different plan. Thank the Lord above and have a traffic. You better be ready, you know I am. Lord, thank God we had this traffic jam.
You told me that wasn't a true song, which broke my little heart.
Well,
I really would love to believe that something like that happened, which I think is really
yeah, I just, Stemmons Freeway will be nice when it gets finished. That's
somewhere near after the sun explodes. I think that's the probable finish date. I don't know, either that or the eventual chilling out of the universe because of the lack of energy. But it'll be close to one of those things anyway. Well, speaking of the news. Sorry about Amelia in the background. Actually, I kind of like it with this song, so it might work. This is the one I wrote. This week has been a rough week for my least favorite dictator. It's he's got Ukrainian troops on his soil, first time since World War II. And so he's having a bit of a rough time, and so I pulled out this song that I wrote for him. Actually, I wrote for Alexei Navalny in honor of Alexei Navalny, the late Alexei Navalny, the hero for democracy. But anyway, he referred to he who is not spoken of as Vladimir the Poisoner of Underpants, which is a long story, which I'm sure I've told before, but is for real. And so I wrote this song for our boys having a tough week. He's riding a horse without wearing a shirt. You can tell he's a hell of a man. He poses with tires and kicks at the dirt. He can do things that nobody can. All are in awe when he walks through the halls. His enemies, they have no chance. The people, they call him Vladimir. Vladimir the Poisoner of Underpants. Vladimir the Poisoner of Underpants. His potions will scramble your brain. He'll He'll mess with your drawers so the poison can flow straight from your balls to your brain. So don't say a word to nobody, or Vlad will weaponize your crotch. He won't even have the damn decency to wait and poison your scotch. So don't mess with Vlad the Impaler, or he'll run you through with a lance. That's why they call him Vladimir. Vladimir the Poisoner of Underpants. Vladimir the Poisoner of Underpants. His potions will drive you insane. He'll mess with your drawers so the poison can flow straight from your balls to your brain. There. I hope he has a bad week next week too, frankly. Anyway, but no more politics. On to a man above politics. A man for whom it is said he is a man. Anyway, there he goes. Thank you.
Well, you know, I saw something today. No, heard some guy talking on YouTube. He said something like, you know, you define who you are by who you vote for, and I guess I'm Pat Paulson. Y'all remember Pat Paulson? Y'all old
Absolutely.
He ran for president in what, 72?
It's 1970, I think it was.
I was kind of more of Joe Walsh.
Oh, 68.
68, that's right. He kicked it off on the Smothers Brothers show.
Exactly. Where else, man?
He just wanted the job.
He needed a job, so, you know.
Well, that's why Kinky Friedman wanted to be governor. He said he needed more closet space.
Yeah, that's right. I love his thing was, how hard can it be?
Yeah, well, anyway, I'm going to sing this song. Change up a few words. I'll probably stumble over them and see how it goes. I'm thinking about doing this Saturday at the, I want to remind everybody, the Sonstock, that's Sonstock, Sonstock, is a Sons of Herman's Hall mini Woodstock that we're going to have out there. DSA is kind of sponsoring it. We're playing out there from 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock Saturday morning till 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock Saturday night. And everybody's got like a 30-minute set. There's one or two acts that's got an hour, but most people just got a 30-minute set. But it's going to be fun.
Journey of a Song tomorrow night, too.
Yeah, Journey of a Song tomorrow night. Emmeline, yeah.
Who's playing for us?
I don't think anyone's playing for us tomorrow night, but Jamie,
Shannon?
Jamie what?
Jamie Shannon?
Jamie Shannon. I was trying to think. I had another Jamie in my mind. Jamie Shannon is going to be the guy next month.
Cool.
She's going to do him next month. So, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think she's going to do it. No, she's going to. Yeah, she's going to do him on that show. Yeah. He's coming in for I think the guitar show's that month, right? That weekend. Anyway, let me do my song. Wait a minute. Somebody tell a joke.
Okay, I posted this to Facebook yesterday, but why did the triangle player leave the reggae band?
Do what?
Why did the triangle player leave the reggae band?
I have no idea.
It was just one ting after another.
There Hey, I gave my heart to Jesus, just a little kid. Thought I'd go to heaven no matter what I did. Some folks tried, some folks tried to tell me no way that was right. Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. Told a woman I loved her, wasn't long we had a child. Told them both I'd be back for them in just a little while. Told myself just keep going, they'd be better off alone. Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. I shot a man in anger, did not know his name. No way I could forgive him, much less know who was to blame. I got down on my knees, said a little prayer. Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. The moment it's all over, they tell me I will see a bright light, long dark tunnel, Jesus reaching out to me. Will it all turn into darkness or the devil in disguise? Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. I gave my heart to Jesus, just a little kid. Thought I'd go to heaven no matter what I did. Now I can't help but wonder if that little kid was right. Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. Lord help me if I find out I was wrong. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, sir. That is a wonderful song. And now for Mr. Bill Martin.
I forgot to mention last time, in other changes, I'm using my amp tonight. Sometimes I'm just playing purely acoustically, but tonight I'm using the amp. I can't find anywhere that it says you can coast. It takes love and it takes time, and battles can be won or lost in the mind. I know how deeply you've been hurt, not only you, but you and me, and to the bitter end, if we can, only hope that it shows there's still a God who's on the throne and who can't help. He's the only way. I know that we can win. waiting such a long, 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 long time.
Beautiful, as always.
Thank you.
Absolute mondo.
Is that
Absolute
amp
mondo.
that you had at Guitars and Growlers?
No, this is the big one. I don't know if I can show you it. It's the big one that I used when we were playing at Deep Ellum. Can you see it? It's a big jazz chorus one.
Oh, okay.
Roland Jazz Chorus 120.
Sounds great.
There it is.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to bring Saturday. I've decided to go with this one Saturday. Because it's, it can get loud, but it doesn't have to. It's got a lot of headroom. It doesn't have to get loud, but it sounds so clean.
Cool. Very cool. All right, speaking of cool, we will go to the Secretary of Cool, Mr. Alan Larson.
Okay. Excuse me here. I had a volume accident. Anyway, so a minute ago I was talking about finding an app that removed the vocals from an old recording. The song in question was Walking, that song Walking I sometimes do, which I'm going to do here in a second. The thing about my original singing on it, I think I used to sing a lot from up here, I've kind of learned over the years to push air out and just, not that I've become any kind of virtuoso singer, but I just think I've, over the years kind of learned and figured out a few things. So I want to redo the vocals on it. But anyway, a few minutes ago I was kind of messing around with the song and it kind of occurred to me, well, maybe I'm sorry. Maybe I should raise the key of it. There's actually a function on Audacity. You can raise the pitch of a song without changing the tempo. I don't know whether raising it from E to G would be too much. I might experiment, but I thought I would try singing. I usually do it in E, so I'm going to try it in G. Woke up, the rain was falling down. She was already gone, she must have had an early start. And I had an early start on an empty feeling. Knew it was time to get out of my head. So I went walking. Walking through the streets of the city. Walking to the rhythm of the sidewalks on parade. Walking through the forest of voices running around inside of my head. I stopped into a deli and I listened to the pundits on the TV screen. Passed on a Philly, ordered up a club, but what I really wanted was an anti-hero. Always felt for the underdog. Turned back to the TV, wanted to scream. But I went walking, walking through the streets of the city. Walking to the rhythm of the sidewalks on parade. Walking through the forest of voices running around inside of my head. past the playground, I heard a child laugh, the sun was breaking out. Just like the rain, my funk was fading. Well, it don't matter where you've been, it's where you're going that counts. So I keep walking, walking through the streets of the city, walking to the rhythm of the sidewalks on parade, walking through the forest of voices running around inside of my head. I'm walking, yeah, putting one foot in front of the other. I'm walking. A little higher, I'm not sure. I'm used to it, but I don't know. Maybe that'll work.
You should
Maybe
talk to the Johnny Walker people about that.
story. I'm sticking to it.
You know, their whole thing is walking. So I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm always, you talk to the nice people at Johnny Walker. You mention my name. And now the magnificent Mr. KD.
Well, it happened late last night when I was all alone. You called me on the phone and you made me feel... What's that? Okay. Well, it happened late last night.
I guess it was me.
Hello? Well, it happened late last night while I was all alone. They called me on the phone and you made your feelings known, that you no longer loved me and said that we were through. Then you gently parted with these words, I hope that your dreams come true. But if my dreams came true, I'd go to work without my pants, or I'd wrestle a gorilla at the homecoming dance. Then there's a nightmare I'll never see you. One thing that I ask you now, don't hope that my dreams come true. Well, when we were together, I dreamed of future days, of children we would raise, while into your eyes I'd gaze. Now those dreams are gone and I'm forever blue. Since you gently parted with these words, I hope that your dreams come true. But if my dreams came true, I'd take a 30-story fall, or I'd end up in a slum where the alligators maul. Then there's a nightmare I'll never see. There's one thing that I ask you now, don't hope that my dreams come true. Now I cannot sleep at night, no food hasn't eaten. I sit alone for hours, my life's become a waste. And the only thing you've left me is the hope that my dreams come true. But if my dreams came true, a bull would bite me on the rear, and the Eagles beat the Cowboys in the playoffs every year. Then there's a nightmare of never seeing you. There's one thing that I ask you now, I'm begging you to hear me now. Don't hope that my dreams come true. Please don't hope that my dreams come
All right.
true. Right.
I'm always trying to get somewhere in my dreams. I can never remember exactly where I'm trying to get. If I ever get there, I'm sure it'll be a wonderful experience, but wandering through cities and stuff. You see, that's what happens. You get to be like that, yeah. So I'm going to do it. I wrote this song around a bass lick that I can't really quite remember, but that's the idea to it. This is a song about. This is called "Wet Rainy Day." Nearly night. The windshield wipers keep the time as the road provides the groove. Bounding waves of concrete lines all leading to my love. Cold, wet, constant winter rain seeping to the bone. Tired, wired in my lane, driving my way home. The colors smear in drops of red that are swiftly swept away, replaced by fat pixels of green, and I'm back along my way. The windshield wipers keep the time where the roads provide the groove. Bounding waves of concrete lines all leading to my love. It's a wet, rainy day. It's a red, rainy day. It's a wet, rainy day, nearly night. Grackles perch on electric lines like gargoyles perch in France. Then something stirs and wings a light, and the traffic sparks the dance. Cold, wet, constant winter rain, sleeping to the bone. Tired, wired in my lane, driving my way home. It's a wet, rainy day. It's a wet, rainy day. It's a wet, rainy day. Nearly night. You gotta try stuff, you know. You gotta push the envelope a little sometimes.
Ace, does your keyboard have a drum patch?
Probably.
That'd be so cool for you to find a drum patch that would go with that, you know,
Oh, yeah,
have the
yeah.
drum patch and the bass line, and then you sing it. I'll bet you with that, I think that'd be a really cool pocket.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, sir. All right, and now to Mr. the man they call Mr. Harry Hewlett. Already done.
There we go. Okie dokie. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. She just don't like rednecks anymore. I told her you was my friend. She said that got to end. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. No, she don't like rednecks anymore. She just don't like them rednecks anymore. She done told my mama too. Now daddy's got the blues. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. she don't like rednecks anymore. We kind of figured this whole thing started when she went off to junior college. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. No, she don't like rednecks anymore. She just don't like them rednecks anymore. She says we're better dead than red and nothing else can be said. My sister don't like rednecks anymore. No, she don't like rednecks anymore. She don't like rednecks anymore. That's it for you, Bubba. That's the end of the song. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What happened? Did I lose my voice? I can't hear you.
I think Ace had to step out back for a minute.
Oops. Okay.
I ended it too quick then, I guess.
It's so undecided, I can't explain it. You call me to tell me you love me, you don't care one bit. I feel like a fool for loving you. I feel like a fool for loving you. I've been such a fool for loving you, but I've loved you so long. It's so undecided, I can't explain. One day you shine on me, next day it's rain. I feel like a fool for loving you. I feel like a fool for loving you. I've been such a fool for loving you, but I've loved you so long. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-ba-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da-da.
Interesting ending there out of that one.
It was improvised.
No, that's all the fun, man. All right. Speaking of improvisation, the master of improvisation, Mr. Alan Larson.
All right. Okay, no long drawn out story. Just a song this time. Sometimes I stumble on a box of memories. You could say it's almost like my own documentary. There's trinkets and gadgets and souvenir mementos, concert ticket stubs and old black and white photos. Now here's one of us kids on the block, a set of keys to some forgotten box. Now seeing these things I start to reminisce about the good times and others that I don't miss. I think of special folks that I have known, and of the love and lessons I've been shown. But I don't know why I kept these things so long. But to throw them out now, well, it just would seem so wrong. Now I forget what I was doing just before I opened this box in the drawer. Now what was I looking for? Well, I open my eyes and shake off my daydream of days past and just what it all means. I think it's time to get out and make more memories of days past and just what all means. Wait a minute. Lost my place here. Time to get out and make more memories. The road ahead is still waiting for me. Well, it's time to travel, make new friends, sing new songs, collect new odds and ends. So it's time to get back to my chores. So I put the box back in the drawer. Now what was I looking for? Well, there's trinkets and old concert ticket stubs. Man, there were some great ones I saw with my old loves.
That is a wonderful song, man. That's got so much to it, you know. And what it does is, to the listener, it inaugurates our own memories and feelings and thoughts. So thank you for that. That was great.
It makes us so we don't feel so bad about keeping all that junk in the closet.
That's right. Damn right.
Yeah, I have a lot of boxes and drawers that make me feel good that way.
It's for our biographers, gentlemen.
Exactly. Yeah, I got all those, a whole box of like college papers and notebooks.
Hey, you never
Why
know.
do I still have that stuff?
Someday my great-grandchild's going to take them on Antiques Roadshow and say, this was my great-grandfather, and back in the day,
Yeah.
he wrote a song about a rattlesnake.
All right. So let us, let's see, I guess best way to do that is move, hold on. There we go. You're on.
Can't believe it. Is she the girl of my dreams, or is she a nightmare? She may not be what she to approach her. Don't really know the right way. Here comes the panic. Never know what to say. Will she start laughing? Will she start running? Or just ignore me? So is no really so bad? It's the fear that I've always had. The fear of no is certainly less than the fear that she might say yes. Then where would I be? Would I take it from there, or would I falter? Man, I don't have a prayer. She'll find me boring. She'll find me awkward, or she'll just ghost me. So is no really so bad? It's the fear I've always had. The fear of no is certainly less than the fear that she might say yes. Well, there she goes now. 'Cause I missed my shot. It's getting to you. You know it happens a lot, just like the last time. She gave me no time. Maybe next time. Yeah, maybe next time.
Once again, I played a memorable solo to that.
Awesome.
Unfortunately you didn't hear, but nonetheless, look, I'm glad I got to play the mandolin with you on that.
That was fun. That was
cool.
fun. That was a good evening.
That was a good evening. All right, let's see. Speaking of good evenings, there's me. No, that wasn't. That's called your fake segue. It made no sense when you thought about it, but as long as I say it quickly, the audience will never know that I haven't made any sense. This is one I'm thinking of doing. I got looking back at the Woodstock stuff, and so that was kind of fun looking through some of the people who were there, because I wasn't there, I must confess, but I just saw basically the movie, and there was a lot more than that to the movie. In fact, the one I'm going to play, I'm going to steal from another part of Woodstock that wasn't in the movie. But anyway. It was a time of adventure, a time of fun back in the 60s in high school. It was a time of madness, a time of the gun back in the 60s in high school. It was a time of horror, a time of hope, but we learned, celebrated, and learned to cope. Some of us even tried smoking dope back in the 60s in high school. Back in the 60s in high school. Well, everybody fought about Vietnam back in the 60s in high school. It was brother versus brother, dad against mom back in the 60s in high school. Adventurous times, people took positions and didn't cross lines. We left too many of our young men behind back in the 60s in high school. Back in the 60s in high school. Well, those were the days when we went to the moon back in the 60s in high school. reach for the stars while the world was in ruin back in the 60s in high school. We saw the earth as a whole from the east to the west. We watched and we prayed, we hoped for the best. We believed that we'd begun on the ultimate quest back in the 60s in high school. Back in the 60s in high school. Where the music was great, you could hear the world sing. Everybody wanted to do their own thing. We were young and let that freedom bell ring. Back in the 60s in high school. Back in the 60s in high school. Back in the 60s in high school. Sorry about the... All right, enough of me. Let's go to Mr. Harry Hewlett.
I got to spend a little bit of the 60s in the high school, but we weren't smoking pot.
You mean the 1860s, right?
No, 1960s, the first couple of years of it. But we were just, we smoking, we was drinking beer, you know, trying to get laid, but no one ever got laid. The girls didn't do that back in those days. so it was just not a whole lot of dating. Usually the guys would go out together, you know, get drunk and that kind of stuff if we could. Anyway, learn how to drink, how to smoke, and all that kind of stuff. Try to put a harmonica to this. There's another song I'm probably going to mess up real good with. I met a girl, she said her name was Dallas. What fun we had beneath those city lights. What fun the sun came up next day in Dallas. She said she saw love in my eyes. I met a girl, she said her name was Dallas. Since then, how swiftly all the years went by. I bet you I'd have lived my life in Dallas if she had seen Lubbock in my eyes. I met a girl, she said her name was Dallas. What fun we had beneath those city lights. I bet you I'd have lived my life in Dallas if I hadn't had Lubbock in my eyes.
That should be in every jukebox in Texas, I believe.
Oh, get out of here. That harmonica adds to it, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does. It
Yeah,
definitely
kind of
does. It gives a
gives it a little more-
wistfulness to it.
a little more something, yeah. Okie dokie, that was me.
All right, now to Mr. Without further ado, to Mr. Bill Martin.
Here we go. Yeah, that was great, Harry. I really liked that song. I was playing along with it, too.
Oh, great, thanks.
Well, let's see. Do you know where the bluebird winter's winter. How the chimney sweep fastens her nest. Why the whippoorwill's note is so mournful. Where the plump purple grapes are the best. Can you tell where the bluebells are thickest? Where the lazy trout basks in the sun? Where the yellow plums ripen the quickest? How the black snake devises to run. You may have read books by the hundred. You may solve every problem with ease. Yet I will not say you are learned unless you can answer these. Do you know what the tall pines whisper when the south wind rustles their leaves? How the squirrel hides food for the winter, how honey is made by the bees. You may have read books by the hundred, you may solve every problem with ease, yet I will not say you are learned unless you can answer these. Yet I will not say you are learned unless you can answer these.
Now, before you said that was the words are by your grandfather?
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Did he write a song or a poem?
It was a poem.
Poem.
It was a poem. And there's a book written about him, and in it had this poem. A partial poem was apparently there was more to it than that. But what was in the book was that right there. And years and years later, relatively recently, I thought, gee, that has a rhythm to it. It shouldn't be hard to put something to it. So I started kind of improvising, but I had my recorder on, and I had a gist, and so that came together pretty quickly. It's obviously a really simple progression.
Where did he live?
Dallas.
He lived in Dallas. In Dallas,
He
the
went
city
to
of Dallas?
Hendricks. He went to Hendricks, but he preached at the downtown Dallas church. And he was also in, I want to say Corpus Christi earlier. His last years of life were in Little Rock. But he preached at the downtown Dallas First Methodist Church.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Did you ever get to hear him preach?
I think maybe I did once. Come to think of it, I'm not sure. That's kind of embarrassing. I'm not sure that I did. I know I must have. I must have once, because Mom and Dad impulsively decided, Grandfather's preaching in California. Let's go. And it was that quick. That's how spontaneous my parents were at that moment. So we went to California.
That's cool.
I probably did hear him preach.
But you were a young fella, I assume.
Quite like junior high and younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was in my, I don't know, early 30s when Grandfather died. If I can
All right.
remember.
Cool song.
Thanks.
Mr.
And goes to Grandfather
Yeah, to
Allen's. next.
grandfathers are loved. To
Boy,
Mr.
howdy.
Allen.
I had a uncle that was preacher at, I think it was Colonial Baptist Church in Dallas. I'm not sure where that is. Gus Tomlinson or somewhere like that.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Or East Dallas somewhere, I'm not sure. Do you know where that is? Colonial Baptist, I believe that was the name of it. And also, my family was related to, I think it was John or Edgar Mullins, and they say I look like him. He was apparently like a Billy Graham of the 1920s or something like that.
No way.
Very well known. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I mean,
You're just saying, yeah. Yeah, I know that's the lore of the family, and there's a big in the Baptist church. That's all I know. I don't know. But they say I look like him.
when I was a little kid, went to a Baptist church, and God, He was number one, and Jesus was number two, and Billy Graham was number three.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Oh my goodness.
That was the order that they were in.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I'll have to look it up. Edgar Mullins was big. in the Baptist church, and there's some of my cousins went and visited a university where he's, they got a whole library or something named after him or something, and they went there, and when they mentioned that, yeah, we're related to him, they're like, oh my God, they got the VIP tour as soon as they mentioned that. But anyway, I'll have to look it up here on Wikipedia here in a minute. But anyway, I'll play a song
I had
first.
no idea.
Huh?
I had no idea. I know your parents were both lawyers, weren't they? Weren't they
My,
Democrats?
my father was. Yeah. My mom was just a housewife. I mean, she actually had a master's in business, I think, or something like that. But when she met my dad and got married, she raised kids and.
Wow.
It was in those days.
Sounds kind of similar to my background.
Sounds kind of what?
Similar to my background.
Yeah.
Mom came short of getting a master's degree, but didn't quite get it. Dad worked his tail off to get his doctor's degree. Nobody thought he could do it, but he did.
Your dad has a doctor's degree?
Mm-hmm.
Like a-
PhD, not like MD, but PhD. He taught biochemistry
Where?
at Colorado State University, Metro State. His final years were at Arkansas Tech in Russellville. But I grew up in Fort Collins, and then, there was Denver. He taught at Metro. That was a downtown college. But he was at Colorado State University in Fort Collins when I was in junior high and early high school.
My father had an undergraduate degree in physics from the University of Washington. Then he got his law degree at the University of Michigan and came down to Baylor, where he met my mother, and got married. And then the war broke out, and he got a deferment because, and we don't know but I always understood that he got a deferment because he could teach physics, but as part of the war effort. But he may have been working on the Los Alamos. But we never really pressed it. We just kind of, if he was sworn to secrecy, my dad had such integrity, he would carry that secret to a grave or something. So I don't know. We're not really sure now. There's some reason we think that maybe he was working on it, but I don't know, he could remember mathematical formulas years later when he's been teaching law for 30 years, and I was taking some college class in science. He's like, oh, I remember that formula. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you still remember that stuff? And he was brilliant. So anyway, here's a song about an imaginary place and imaginary friends I met. This is that Prairie Rose song I do. Kicking up dust on a country road, head to a place called Prairie Rose. Nothing much ever changes around here. Folks stick around year after year. I wanna know, how do they get there from here? I wanna know, are they having some fun? How do they keep their grass so green? Is everything here the way that it seems in Prairie Rose? Well, I stop in town at the local cafe. When folks gather around, they got a lot to say. The pretty little waitress, she gives me a wink. She sits down and asks me, what do I think? I say, I want to know, how do we get there from here? I want to know, am I anywhere near? Tell me the secret, short and sweet. Hope for an answer, knock me off my feet. Prairie Rose, that's how it goes in Prairie Rose. Well, I'm on the outside looking in. Anywhere is better than where I've been. Prairie Rose. Well, I pass the old billboard as I head out of town. Marlboro Man, he's faded and he's fallen down. The place here is a little bit quaint, but it is what it is, and It ain't what it ain't. Prairie Rose, how do we get there from here? I wanna know how many were near. How do you get your grass so green? Is everything here the way that it seemed? Prairie Rose, Prairie Rose, Prairie Rose, and Prairie Rose.
All right, great song. Great song.
Oh, thank you.
And we move to Mr. D. Mr. Dodson, if I can do it. Yes. You are now pictified.
Ah, there we are. I'm unmuted. Sandy Bernard is a backyard bard who slips in the dirt when times get hard. He's gotta make amends for those he offends. His rapier words say just what he intends to do. Had him a wife, she was always causing strife. Bound to end up in prison for the rest of her life. She had more than one name, but her favorite was Jane. Tried all the time, 'cause it's going insane, boo-hoo. I once knew them though, and they scared me so. I look for them in the alleys everywhere I go. One day Jane went wild, looked at Sandy and smiled, said, "Guess what, lover, gonna have us a child." Sandy got mad, didn't wanna be a dad. "I'm leaving you home," and that's all that he had to say. So Sandy went to town, he was gonna mess around. When Jane found out, she went and tracked him down. She pulled out a gun and said, "I'm into your fun. Gonna send you to hell, you'll never see your son go away." I saw her pull the trigger and I watched him fall. Cops grabbed Jane and they threw her up against the wall. They took Sandy to the dock, he was just down the block. They pulled a slug from his shoulder while Sandy took stock of his own careless ways and the way he spent his days. The way he treated Jane left him hanging in a haze again. They took Jane to jail, Sandy paid bail. Only got probation because the prosecutor failed. Much to his surprise, the jury realized they were both victims of the way their lives were built. I heard Sandy say she's my heart's delight. Sandy and Jane stay at home with their son every night. Yeah, they turned out alright. They turned out alright now. Turned out alright now. Alright.
The Bob Dylan of our group there. Thank you, sir.
I wish.
What a career,
About a
huh?
week ago, it occurred to me, I think it needs a bridge. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Maybe.
But it's been static for a long time, but I think it's time to tweak with it a little bit.
Hey, that's always fun. Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. All right, speaking of somebody who needs tweaking, here's me. This one I'm definitely going to do on Saturday. This is one of my newest favorites. You know, you have favorites of your songs, and this one is one of my newer favorites. Well, gather around your neighbors. We're here to entertain, to gently nurture funny bones and entertain your brain. There will be no auto-tune or fancy pyrotechnics. It's just us friends here together, getting down to basics. Well, friendship is the thing that makes us want to sing. We're playing real music, the kind they used to play. We're playing real music. We'll be around all day. We sure do appreciate your kind attention. We know that you have other things to do. We're so glad to see the smiles on your faces when you stop and let us play for you. So lose the 3D goggles and pull up a wooden chair. Let's separate the distance between here and there. This is not about the spectacle or the fancy clothes we're wearing. This is about homemade music, and it's our way of sharing. Because friendship is the thing that makes us want to sing. We're singing real music, the kind they used to play. We're playing real music. We'll be around all day. We're playing real music, the kind they used to play. We're playing real music, and we'll be around all day. Yeah, I like that song. All right, next for you we have Mr. Harry Hewlett. Ladies and gentlemen, I will bring him to you. And there he is.
Here he is. You know, everybody talking about daddies with PhDs and all that kind of stuff. My daddy was a preacher every Saturday night when I got home. I heard him preach. That's funny. He was a diviner though. Like, you know, the farmers come from 100 miles around to get him to go tell them where to drill their wells and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, I know a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. He didn't really, but it worked. I saw it work. Anyway, here's a song. Talk to my heart, tell it like it is. Lately it's been wondering how things are. If your love is true, I'm begging you, have a little talk with my heart. One little word, three little words, I love you, are all it really wants to hear. Talk to my heart, tell it like it is. things are. All you've got to do, I'm begging you, have a little talk with my heart. Three little words, I love you, are all it really wants to hear. Talk to my heart, tell it like it is. Lately it's been wondering how things are. If your love is true, I'm begging you, have a little talk with my heart.
Yeah,
End of song.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Keith's talking about putting those bridges in a song. Used to, I remember when I was going to these songwriting things, everyone said, it needs a bridge, it needs a bridge, it needs a bridge. Yeah, okay. There's all kinds of reasons why it needs a bridge. Then old Harlan Howard, he songwriter there in Nashville, he had all those country hits. He said when he writes a song, he said he intentionally doesn't put a bridge in them. It's just 3-chord songs, and he said you want a song that all those little bands out there in all the little towns can sing it and learn how to play it. And this little bridge, a bridge, is just a train wreck waiting to happen. When you put it in a song.
Well, the purpose of the bridge is to get from the middle to the beginning of the end.
I guess.
Musically,
Musically, they make a lot of sense musically, but when you're jamming with someone, I wrote a song, and then you're playing a song, and then you come to that part where the bridge is. They don't have any damn idea where you're going.
I think
remember-
it's go ahead.
I was going to say, I remember a Beavis and Butthead episode. Remember how they sat and watched music videos? Well, one came on one time, then they hated it until the bridge guitar lead came in, and why do they have such a crappy part of the song? It's so you'll see just how extra cool the other part is.
That's
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, words to that effect. I didn't really.
But
They made it funny the way they made the point, but yeah.
I'd like to do a song about bridges, really, and make sure there was a bridge in it. You'd have to have a bridge in it,
Well, that song 7 Bridges Road? It don't have a bridge in it. Well, actually, it does. It's only got one bridge in it.
Well, see, that's the problem.
And the Red Hot Chili Peppers have Under the Bridge, which,
That's where trolls live.
yeah.
All right, I won't do the obvious joke, speaking of trolls, so I'm not that kind of person. So in any case, I'll just send Bill up there.
Well, I forgot to mention, one of the reasons I'm here is I wound up in Dallas because I met Melissa in Lubbock, and Dad took a teaching position in the nutrition department. So I was not planning on doing this song because I've been doing it so much lately, and it's not all together here yet. But the first verse was written very, very soon after I met Melissa, and before we got married, and then the rest was written recently. And I'm still trying to memorize it, and I did not bring my papers with me, so this is all. But anyway, this was written in Lubbock, and Dad was at Texas Tech University. Just because I gaze into your eyes from only inches away, just because I tell you that I need you in each and every way, for all of the reasons that I've ever had, some of them good and some of them very bad. What do you think as you gaze into my eyes? Don't your self-doubts and your worries arise? Well, I know my heart and I know that it's true, 'cause I worried too, but I still wanted you. Now isn't that love? Isn't that love? Just because I hold you in my arms and touched you everywhere. Just because I'd wandered to and fro and landed here, not there. You're all of the reasons that I ever had. Some of them good and some of them very bad, Chucks. What do you think as you gaze into the years? Isn't it worth all the heartache and the tears? Well, I know my heart and I know, 'cause I worried too, but I still wanted you. Now isn't that love? Isn't that love? Well, I forgot an entire section of the song, but I had to play poker, but I'm admitting it now.
Well, it
Practice
sounded
on that
great.
later.
See, that's the thing. If you don't know, if you don't have it memorized, as a listener, they have no idea. It sounded
That's
just
true.
perfect
If it's
the
an
way it
original,
did.
they're not going to know. If you just play poker, again, I admitted it afterwards, but there's
Yeah,
nothing I
but
can do about it
when-
once I got to
yeah,
the point where,
right.
oops.
Well, among friends, right? You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I figured I was safe trying this
Yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly. All right, let's see.
Alan,
Here we
here we
go.
are.
All right. I'm unmuted. I'm doing a last minute decision to try to play a song on the mandolin. This is my song, Bitten. I've been finally slid the old bridge around to get the intonation a little bit better. And anyway, I guess play my song, Bitten. Well, I've been rambling down that highway. Some days everything goes my way. Sometimes the bumps that trip me up. Well, some life it ain't always downhill, but still I want to get my fill in the morning when the sun comes up again. Well, I've been lost, I've been bitten, I've been nervous as a kitten. Travel around the world and met all kinds of girls, and just when it seems like it's all been written, I'm completely smitten. Now I'm coming home to you. Now I've never seen such a smile as I travel these miles from the Rocky Mountains on out to the coast. Well, some folks think I'm joking and they ask me what have you been smoking, but it don't matter when you know what matters most. Well, I've been lost, I've been bitten, I've been nervous as a kitten, traveled all around the world and met all kinds of girls, and just when it seems like I got bitten, this time I'm completely smitten. Now I'm coming home to you. So I keep on moving down the road and I listen to the stories told by friends and strangers with no name. But some got funny things they're thinking, and then it's my turn to wonder what they've been drinking, but in the end we're really all just the same. Yeah, I've been lost, I've been bitten, I've been nervous as a kitten, traveled around the world and met all kinds of girls, and just when it seems like it's all been written, once again I'm completely smitten. Now I'm coming home to you. Yeah, now I'm coming home to you. Yeah, I'm coming home to you.
They call him Mr. Mandolini.
Master, the great Mandolini.
The great Mandolini, yes. And now the great Dodsoni. Hold on.
Oh no. One day I launched my browser, pure knowledge to acquire. An image came up on my screen, set my heart on fire. She smiled at me with big brown eyes, too lovely to describe. She asked me to like her and also to subscribe. She's the girl of my streams. I saw her on the net. Started with a Facebook meme, the subject I forget. Now she shows up everywhere, cat videos and spam, recommended by YouTube. Follow her on Instagram. Well, I really just had to meet her. I clicked to find her store. I bought 3 t-shirts and a mug, a tote bag and much more. But to a message down below, my lovesick eyes were drawn. To really get to know me, please join my Patreon. She's the girl of my streams. I saw her on the net. Well, it started with a Facebook meme, the subject I forget. Now she shows up everywhere, cat videos and spam, recommended by YouTube. Follow her on Instagram. Well, I finally got to know her. I'm happy to report her page tells all about her and her levels of support. And for inside information and exclusive streams deluxe, I can join her inner circle, 1 month for $30 bucks. She's the girl of my stream. started with a Facebook meme, the subject I forget. Now she shows up everywhere, cat videos and spam. Recommended by YouTube. Follow her on Instagram. I'll follow her on Instagram and Twitter. That's X now, and WhatsApp, and Facebook, and YouTube, and TikTok. Girl of my dreams.
All right.
I heard from Barbie. I wonder if she ever got her interface working.
Oh, I'm sure she must have.
That was 2 weeks in a row.
And we haven't
Messed
heard.
up.
Who else haven't we seen in a while?
Haven't heard from.
I want to know where Jenny is.
Jenny, right? Yeah.
Jenny, Steven.
Steven?
Yeah, I kind of thought he might be here tonight since we're doing the Sunstock.
Yeah.
Chris, we haven't seen Chris Albert in a while.
No, I thought about
Yep.
Chris tonight too.
I was thinking about Joe Perfume the other day. He popped up in
Yeah.
my Facebook feed, but he hasn't posted to Facebook since last December, so I'm concerned about him.
He wasn't in great health, I could
I
tell.
know. So,
Well, as far as I can tell, we have like 10 minutes left, which is not enough for all of us to do something. So,
I think I'm played out.
yeah, so I think that we've done good. So with that, I was gonna say, why don't we just say hasta la vista until we're gonna be there on Saturday? Is there,
Alan's got to play one more song.
except for Alan, yeah. Is he there? He's hiding me. He's probably.
Oh,
I thought he might be visiting
hit
the
the wrong
facilities. That's what I did. All right, Alan, take us out, sir.
well, I was showing the girl with blue hair on the ukulele.
Yeah.
But I got 1 minute left for one more song. The host says this tune better not be too long. Guess I better pick up the pace before a blue-haired teen with a ukulele takes my place. Now there's just half a minute left to try and persuade the owner to hire me for a gig where I actually get paid. There's a girl up front and I want to impress her, but there's so little time and so much pressure. But oh man, look, here comes the hood, and there comes my TV on without asking me. Anyway.
That was actually perfect. You know, it's like at a bar, it's like they're ready to get ready and they just turn on the TV. So.
Yeah. I had the TV paused and I guess it timed out or something. I don't know.
It was
There
art.
goes
It was art, man.
Stop it, TV.
Hey, if I
All
don't
right.
see you tomorrow night at opening bell, well, I'll see all of you Saturday.
All right. Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, I may do nothing but Woodstock